Welcome to the official TechBBQ 2025 podcast. We have invited you here to learn more about the initiative from the Indian government and the Indian consulate here in Copenhagen in regards to connecting our parts of the world. And you are here to help us learn much more about the connectivity and the issues you are facing, both here and in India as well. But before we get started on the actual topic of funding, government issues, green initiative, and all this, will you help me introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers?
Well, thank you, Christian, for inviting me to your podcast. And myself, Ashish Arya, I am a counselor in the Indian Embassy, Copenhagen, and I look after political and commercial matters. So basically, we look after matters which matter to both the countries, and we bring together the businesses, the corporations, as well as the startups together, and we help resolve what if they are facing any challenging in connecting to the right partners to each other's countries.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that introduction. And you are here at TechBBQ this year, and as well as the government. We've been speaking with some of your colleagues in this area, and the Indian government and you have decided to send some startups to TechBBQ as well this year. Why did you decide this year was the year that you wanted to go and attend TechBBQ with the startups?
Absolutely. Christian, India is world's fourth largest economy, and India has world's third largest startup ecosystem. India is also home to unicorns, and in terms of number of unicorns, India is third largest in the world. So we have a proven capacity of innovators and cutting edge research, which is ready to roll out its product in the market. And different startups are at different points in their startup journey. Some may be in the laboratory stage, some may be in the execution stage, and some may be in the rollout stage at various TRL level, 5, 6, whatever. So we have certain complementarities between the markets of the Indian side as well as the Danish side. Indian side offers at-scale solutions, the solutions which are requirement of the market, while the Danish side is a leader in green technologies and green technologies. And under the framework of G2G framework of Green Strategic Partnership, both countries had decided to cooperate in specified, well-defined sectors. Of course, green energies, green technologies, environmental friendly solution, water, waste matter, bio solutions, as well as agriculture, including life sciences. They are one of the foremost sectors. Now, as we are moving ahead in our cooperation under the Green Strategic Partnership, it's time to bring together not only the established businesses, but also the startups of the startup ecosystems of both the countries. In this context, we thought about bringing startups from India. So we have a government agency called Startup India. Startup India works under the Ministry of Commerce, the TPIIT, and it is an agency aiming to fund and to mentor and to foster Indian startups. So when we got to know about this massive platform, the TechBBQ, one of the major events for bringing together the startups, we thought about bringing Indian startups to this event just to provide them visibility and just to provide them opportunities for networking with potential investors and the potential stakeholders. On our call, the Startup India selected 10 startups through a competitive framework, and they have got together these startups coming here, which have come up with uh, just cutting edge and ready to roll out solutions. Separately, government through the state government, we separately have startup incubation programs within the different states in India. Karnataka is one of the biggest for you can also say Karnataka is like startup capital of India. So Karnataka is also bringing 10 startups from the state of Karnataka. So we have a good mix of startups in the TechBBQ who have come here and who showcase their technologies. and who are ready to cooperate and collaborate with the Danish side in terms of investing, in terms of mentoring, in terms of fostering long-term relationships.
Awesome. Great timing then for everyone to be joining together forces this year. And you mentioned it yourself that one of the reasons is also the Green Initiative and how Denmark is in, or at least the Nordic countries as a total, is world leading in some of these green initiatives. What is the goal for you, and how are you helping bind together the Indian and Danish cooperative on green initiatives? And what is your goal with this?
Absolutely. It's good you talk about goals. Of course, the Nordic market, the market in Denmark, they are leaders in the green and clean technologies. So we have long-standing collaboration with the Danish side and in large the Nordic side. Several important companies working in renewable energy are already present in India. They have their units. Vestas is their other major companies are also working in different states of India. Now, the mandate which I earlier talked about, the Green Strategic Partnership, now it's time to translate the mandate given by both the leadership and both the governments after identifying the sector to the ecosystems of both the countries, particularly in the sector of startup ecosystem. Now, in order to do that, the dialogue, the continuous dialogue of both the sides are important. And the dialogue happens in face-to-face sittings. It happens on the corridor meetings. It happens in impromptu conversations between the leaders, between the technology leaders. So with this thought and with this setup in mind, the India Nordic India Startup Summit has been organized within the framework of TechBBQ, which gives our companies, which gives our startups to help foster long-term relationships in those.
Awesome. So there's a great amount of stuff to learn on both sides in the Green Initiative. You have different issues or different difficulties in India that we can learn from in the Nordics and in Denmark. And we can, hopefully India can learn a bit about how we tackle green initiatives here in Denmark as well. But beyond green initiatives, are there other area sectors that you are focusing on when bringing in Indian startups and this cross communication between our two parts of the world together, other than the Green Initiative?
Of course. I would like to add a point to my previous answer. Since you also spoke about goals, so India has set up significant goal of net neutrality by the year 2017. India has also set up a goal of generating 500 gigawatts of power through renewable energy sources by 2030. And it is a matter of great satisfaction that we have achieved the goal of generating at least 50% of green power, that is around 250 gigawatt, very recently through renewable energy sources. So that's the goal and that's the track we are following. And we are going pretty strong in the mitigating the climate challenges and achieving the climate-related goals, which we have set up for ourselves within the multilateral framework of Paris Agreement.
Really ambitious goals.
Yeah. So now coming to your current question about what other sectors apart from green technology and green energy we are looking for. So India is, of course, an IT hub, a leader in fintech. The technology of UPI has proved itself. Now we are having UPI transaction to the tune of 20 billion per month. So that's a record in itself, and that talks about the capacity and the leadership which Indian technology leaders and Indian startup leaders can bring to the table. So enhancing the envelope of our cooperation, our bilateral cooperation beyond green technology and green energy should be AI, machine learning, data science, and another notable important sector is or should be quantum computing. Not to forget the leadership of Danish side in health and life sciences. So these three sectors I would propose for further focus between India and Denmark collaboration.
It's also sectors that we are really focused on here in the Nordics as well. We're working on all the same stuff. And quantum computing especially is really, really interesting because we also need the facilities to produce the chips needed for quantum computing, which we don't have available here in the northern part of Europe anyway. But you are all India have also been a leading expert in production of all kind of stuff. Really something we can cooperate on achieving together. Moving on from this, what are some of the, for you to focus on these goals, the green initiative, the computing, the quantum computing, the AI, what are some of the official initiatives that you as a government representative are taking and using to further along this journey of startups in India and help them spread globally and create contacts globally?
Yeah. First, I would like to talk about the government level initiatives.
Mhm.
Then I will touch upon briefly about the initiatives which are like joint initiatives between India and Denmark. So among the government level initiatives, the Startup India itself, it is a major initiative of Government of India, which aims to help and promote startups. So it is a major agency under the government which puts out calls for a startup, and startups submit their pitch, submit their project plan to Startup India, and then Startup India evaluates and provides funding. So this can be under various modalities and various mechanisms which Startup India publishes from time to time. I believe so far Startup India must have promoted and helped around 100,000 startups. I may need to check the data, but the reach is massive. We have a delegation from Startup India. I met their representatives, and they are confident that through the various mechanisms and various schemes, they are able to reach startups in all nook and corner of India. So that provides one mechanism where startups can reach out to and discuss how they can grow and how they can seek help. Apart from the, that's the central initiative, that's the initiative by Government of India. Apart from that, we have state level initiatives as well. So, of course, I spoke about Karnataka. They have several such initiatives. Then there are initiatives by state of UP government. There are initiatives by state of Maharashtra. So each state has their own ecosystem for a startup and helping the startups. Now, coming to other funding mechanisms, government has recently come up with ANRF. The full form is Anusandhan National Research Foundation, which is a kind of funding agency. So they again put out a call for projects in different sectors, and the interested institutions, interested agencies can respond to their calls, and this can seek funding. Separately, now coming to the joint mechanisms, Atal Innovation Fund, in collaboration with the Danish side, also puts out calls for joint funding of the projects. We have foundations from Danish side, especially Nordic Foundation, which is present in a big way in India. They invite collaboration calls, and they also fund it. So we have a good mix of individual efforts, individual country efforts, as well as joint effort by Indian and Danish side to promote and foster and fund the startup.
Really great initiative from the Indian government and really pushing the agenda of let's develop more startup companies in India. As you spoke with some of your colleagues on previously, is some of the initiative that they're taking, some of the pre-seed funding, the tax accept status you can get in India. Great initiative to really show how the government actually cares about the startup culture in India and want to spread this as a success among other countries as well and take Indian companies globally in the end, of course. But you as a representative from the Indian embassy here in Copenhagen, what is the active role that you and the embassy are taking to ensure the development of this?
Yeah, that's a relevant question. See, embassy should be seen. In fact, embassy is an arm of government. Embassy is part and parcel of Ministry of External Affairs, the face of government which deals with external actors which are located beyond the borders of the country. But over the years, embassies work has become multifaceted, and it is one of our primary responsibility and primary mandate to help foster closer commercial ties between the two countries. And in order to do so, we are continuously in touch with the primary stakeholders of both the countries. We are in touch with interested private parties, and the way it is done is to foster dialogue among the parties of the both sides, among the stakeholders of the both sides. from time to time, of course, this event specifically, the TechBBQ, is an example how embassy can foster and can bring together the startup ecosystems of both the countries. Apart from that, we also coordinate and we also help mount delegations from the government side as well as mixed delegation with the government and private sector, from Danish side to India and from Indian side to Denmark. Further, embassy is also part of Indo-Danish Chamber of Commerce. And through Indo-Danish Chamber of Commerce, we facilitate cooperation and coordination between the private sectors of the both countries. Apart from this, we are always available. Our numbers are public. Our contact lines are always open for any help, for any resolution of any problem. And we keep resolving the problems or difficulties faced by businesses of both sides. Now, a lot of things have moved to online. Government of India also has a specific portal where we can just feed in the data and see what can be potential match for a particular agency or particular company in the Danish market. Similarly, Danish side also has a similar project and similar portal. So with the Indian company, if it comes and asks, who should be my buyer in Denmark? Or who should be my potential collaborator in Denmark? So we just take help of the information available at that portal, and we release that information. We share that information with potential collaborators in India. So it's a very dynamic thing, and we also keep looking out and keep reaching out to different stakeholders, different actors on both sides, so that collaboration enhances, collaboration reaches is what.
So you actually want to send a message out here today as well to encourage Danish companies as well, Danish startups, to, if they have an interest, if they have questions, if they have needs about the Indian market, going into the Indian market, or in any way collaborating with the Indian market, to actually reach out to the Indian embassy and the organizations assisting with this as well?
Absolutely. They are most welcome to reach Indian embassy and talk to me or talk to my team and talk to His Excellency Ambassador and bring up whatever challenges they are facing. We will try honestly to resolve their problem and connect with the relevant stakeholders in the embassy.
That's a great opportunity for Danish companies to take if they're looking to expand or in some way collaborate with Indians, reach out and ask the questions they need to ask, get the assistance they may have, get help in collaborating with India. In this, I imagine there are many difficulties, from language barriers to cultural barriers to the distance and time zones alone. As someone who have a foot in each place, as you are here in Copenhagen, but also are representing the India, what are some of the difficulties that you see and some of the barriers we have to pass and work together to eliminate in the future for this cooperation to work as smoothly as possible?
Yeah. First of all, I would like to congratulate and thank the Danish society and Danish government for providing an enabling environment for Indian expats and Indian immigrants. So we have a thriving Indian community here, and they are doing their best up to whatever sector they are working in. So thank you for that, for welcoming wholeheartedly the Indian expertise. Now, coming to the problems or difficulties which we often see is mostly in terms of visibility. So, and it is our focus and it is our mandate to provide visibility. And this particular platform, which is TechBBQ, is one of the biggest startup events in the Nordics, is aimed at providing that visibility. So, startups coming here from India, they showcase their product, they showcase their technology, and this process happening in the last 2 days help them gain visibility into the Danish market. So that's a kind of entry point, how they can make them seen, how they can make them matter, and how they can come in the contact of potential players in the Danish market. So embassy is happy to help them and provide them authenticity and visibility into the Danish market.
So it's really a question of how do we break through the communication barriers?
Absolutely.
How do we find the correct companies to work with?
There may be players on the both sides. We are willing to reach out to each other. but the connection, that making of that connection, that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. One final thing, maybe I have. Let's keep it a little short. Is in terms of maybe some issues regarding mobility in Indian areas, exporting talent, importing talent, whatever it might be. Is there some difficulty you find in this area?
Yeah. So mobility is a delicate topic, but I'm happy to tell you that India and Denmark have worked out a mobility partnership agreement.
Mhm.
The Migration and Mobility Partnership Agreement, that's in February 2024.
Wow.
And the partnership agreement specifically talk about startups. So there is a dedicated clause, a para 11, which talks about movement of professionals related to startups. So the need is to go for the implementation of the MMPA, the Mobility and Migration Partnership Agreement. And I was just in talk with His Excellency Ambassador Rasmus in the earlier program. And I'm happy to note that both sides are ready to cooperate in the mobility framework given by the MNPA.
Nice.
So I hope in future we will have much larger and much comprehensive cooperation between the two countries under the framework given by MNPA.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining our podcast here live at the floor at TechBBQ 2025. It was a pleasure having you. And I do believe we have highlighted some of the areas of both opportunities and challenges there can be in working across borders, especially as far as Indian and Nordic countries. And it's my pleasure having you here and highlight some of the areas in which you are working, your government is working, and collaborating with the Danish government and authorities to engage and really extend the partnership between our great nations. So thank you so much for being here and highlighting the opportunities.
Thank you, Christian. And I believe that events like this, they will be like creating the spark of dialogue between the ecosystems of startup of both the countries. And once that spark is created, it will go a long way. It's like a chain reaction, which will trigger itself, and it will move larger and larger and create long-term relationship between the ecosystems of both the countries. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.